change can feel overwhelming. But what if I told you that adopting just a few key habits can start transforming your life in just 1 week? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing the 7 habits inspired by Stoic philosophy that drastically changed my life in just 1 week. These lessons are timeless, and I promise they have the power to reshape the way you approach life, challenges, and your own mindset. So, let's dive right in. Habit 1. Practicing mindful acceptance. Before we talk about how to practice mindful acceptance, let's first define what it is. Acceptance, in the Stoic sense, is not resignation or giving up. It's not passivity. It's about embracing the reality of the present moment without judgment, recognizing that there are things we cannot control and learning to be at peace with them. In Stoicism, there is a key principle that governs this practice: the dichotomy of control. This teaches us that some things are within our power, like our thoughts, actions and responses, while other things, external events, the opinions of others, or even the outcome of our efforts, are not within our control. The concept of acceptance is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that to live a good life, we must align our desires and actions with the natural order of the universe, which means accepting reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and one of the most famous Stoics, wrote in his journal, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs." These words echo the core Stoic belief. Our peace of mind depends on our ability to accept things as they are. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, also emphasized this. In his famous work, The Enchiridion, he wrote, "Some things are in our control and others are not. It is only after you have faced up to this fundamental rule and learned to distinguish properly between what you can and cannot control that inner tranquility and outer effectiveness become possible." In our modern lives, we often find ourselves wrestling with things we cannot control. Whether it's a disagreement with a colleague, the weather ruining our plans, or global events that stir anxiety within us, we constantly fight against the current of life. But Stoicism invites us to let go of this need to control the uncontrollable. By practicing mindful acceptance, we stop fighting against reality and instead flow with it. Imagine the peace you could experience if, rather than getting frustrated by traffic, you simply accepted it as part of the journey. Instead of being upset by someone's opinion of you, you acknowledge that their thoughts are outside your control and you focus on your response. So, how can we practice mindful acceptance? Let's break it down into actionable steps you can start using today. Step 1. Recognize what you can control. The first step in practicing mindful acceptance is recognizing the difference between what you can control and what you cannot. This is the foundation of Stoic wisdom. Make it a habit to pause before reacting to a situation. Ask yourself, is this something I can change, or is it beyond my control? If it's out of your hands, then there's no point in worrying about it. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that your power lies in your response, not in controlling the event itself. Step 2. Practice present moment awareness. Mindful acceptance requires you to be present. Often our resistance to what's happening is because we're stuck in thoughts about the past or future. The Stoics encourage focusing on the present moment because that's where our power exists. You can practice this by engaging in mindfulness meditation. Pay attention to your breath, sensations in your body, or sounds around you. When you feel tension or frustration rising, return to the present moment and simply observe the situation without judgment. Step 3. Reframe challenges as opportunities for growth. The Stoics believed that every challenge in life is an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that obstacles are not hindrances but pathways. When something happens that you would normally resist, try to see it as an opportunity to strengthen your inner resilience. For example, if you're faced with a difficult person or a frustrating situation, ask yourself, what virtue can I cultivate here? Can I practice patience? Can I develop compassion? This shift in perspective turns the situation into a lesson rather than a burden. Step 4. Embrace the impermanence of life. One of the reasons we resist accepting reality is because we are attached to how we think things should be. But Stoicism teaches us that everything in life is transient. Change is the only constant. By reminding yourself of the impermanence of life, you can learn to accept both the good and bad with equanimity, rather than clinging to outcomes, relationships, or expectations. Appreciate them in the moment and release them when it's time. Step 5. Cultivate inner calm through reflection. Finally, reflection is a powerful tool in Stoicism. At the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on how you responded to situations. Did you practice acceptance, or were there moments when you resisted? Journaling, as Marcus Aurelius did, can help you internalize these lessons and improve your ability to practice mindful acceptance in the future. Now, I know practicing mindful acceptance isn't always easy. We live in a fast-paced, often chaotic world, and our instinct is to control outcomes, to get frustrated when things don't go our way. But here's the thing. When you accept that challenges will come, when you embrace the unpredictability of life, you start to cultivate a sense of inner peace that isn't shaken by external circumstances. Here are a few common challenges you might face and how to overcome them. Challenge 1. Emotional reactions. It's natural to feel strong emotions when things don't go your way. The key is not to suppress your emotions, but to observe them without letting them control you. Remind yourself that emotions are temporary and they don't define your actions. Challenge 2. Fear of letting go. Letting go of control can feel scary because we believe that control equals security. But in reality, it's the opposite. The more we cling to control, the more we suffer. By practicing acceptance, you're not giving up, you're freeing yourself from unnecessary stress. Challenge 3. Societal pressure. In a society that values achievement and control, practicing acceptance might seem counterintuitive, but remember, acceptance doesn't mean inaction. It means acting with wisdom and peace, knowing what is within your power to change and what isn't. In the end, mindful acceptance is about living in harmony with the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. It's about finding peace in the present moment, no matter what it brings. By practicing mindful acceptance, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to control everything, and we cultivate inner serenity, a key to living a fulfilled life according to the Stoic way. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Habit 2. Morning reflection. The Stoics, from Marcus Aurelius to Seneca, emphasized the importance of beginning each day with intention, clarity, and mindfulness. In this video, we'll explore how you can incorporate a Stoic morning reflection into your daily routine and why it's a powerful tool for cultivating resilience, purpose, and inner peace. Before we get into the how, let's talk about the why. Why did the Stoics, who lived over 2,000 years ago, think it was so crucial to start the day with a reflective practice? It's simple. For the Stoics, morning reflection wasn't just about planning their day. It was about grounding themselves in a larger perspective, preparing mentally for life's inevitable challenges, and remembering their guiding principles. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and one of Stoicism's most famous figures, would spend his mornings contemplating the challenges he might face during the day. In his Meditations, he writes, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, 'The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly.'" This wasn't a pessimistic outlook, but rather a form of mental preparedness. He was reminding himself that life is unpredictable and people are flawed. But more importantly, he was reminding himself that he had control over his own response to these situations. This is why morning reflection matters. It's a way to prime your mind for the realities of life, by acknowledging that the world can be chaotic, but that we control how we react to it. We empower ourselves to face each day with resilience. Now let's break down what a Stoic morning reflection might look like. There are 3 key components you can use to structure your reflection. 1. Preparation for the day ahead. 2. Remembering your core values. And 3. Setting an intention for how you want to act. First, take a few moments to mentally prepare for the day. This isn't about just listing tasks or obligations, but about reflecting on the nature of the challenges you might face. What are the potential frustrations or obstacles that could arise? Who are the people you'll be interacting with, and what kinds of emotions might they provoke in you? Marcus Aurelius, as we mentioned earlier, would remind himself daily that he would encounter difficult people. You might have a challenging meeting or a frustrating errand ahead of you, but by acknowledging these obstacles beforehand, you reduce their emotional impact when they occur. By mentally rehearsing your responses, you're equipping yourself with a Stoic tool, proairesis, which is your ability to choose your reaction. Remember, the Stoics believed that while we can't control external events, we can control our judgments, reactions, and actions. The second step is to remind yourself of your guiding values. In Stoicism, virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance were central. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What are the virtues I want to embody? By aligning your actions with your values, you create a steady compass that guides you throughout the day. When challenges arise, you can turn back to these values for guidance. If you're faced with a difficult decision, remember the virtue of wisdom. If you're tempted by an easy way out, remember the virtue of courage. During your morning reflection, take a few moments to meditate on these virtues and how you can bring them into the day. The key here is to recognize that while external events are outside your control, your actions can always reflect your inner values. Finally, after mentally preparing for the challenges and aligning with your values, it's time to set a clear intention for the day. This intention should be simple, actionable, and focused on how you want to act, rather than what you want to achieve. Stoicism teaches us to focus on the process, not the outcome. So, rather than setting an intention like, "I want to finish all my work today," you might say, "I want to approach my work with diligence and patience." Instead of saying, "I want to avoid conflict," you could set the intention, "I will approach conflicts today with calm and understanding." This final step is about creating a mental framework that will guide your behavior throughout the day. By setting an intention rooted in your values and your preparedness, you can face whatever comes with composure and clarity. Let's bring this all together with a few practical examples of what a morning reflection might sound like. Imagine you have a particularly busy day ahead. You might start your reflection like this. Today will be challenging. I have multiple meetings and some will be stressful, but I will remain calm and composed. I will remember to listen more than I speak, and I will approach difficult conversations with patience. My goal is to act with wisdom and compassion, regardless of how others behave. Or maybe you're facing personal challenges, family issues, relationship stress, or other emotional difficulties. Your reflection could be something like, "Today I will focus on what I can control. I cannot change other people's actions or emotions, but I can control how I respond. I will choose kindness, even when it's hard. I will choose understanding, even when I'm frustrated. My intention is to act with love and temperance." Morning reflection offers countless benefits, especially when practiced daily. It helps you cultivate a sense of inner peace and resilience. Instead of rushing into the day with stress or anxiety, you start from a place of calm and focus. By consciously preparing for the day and setting intentions, you're more likely to respond thoughtfully to challenges rather than reacting impulsively. Over time, this practice trains your mind to stay anchored in your principles, even when life gets tough. And perhaps most importantly, it fosters a sense of purpose. Each day becomes an opportunity to live according to your values, to practice virtue, and to grow as a person. So there you have it, a simple yet powerful way to start your day the Stoic way. By preparing your mind for the challenges ahead, grounding yourself in your values, and setting a clear intention for how you want to act. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making small, consistent efforts to align your actions with your highest ideals. And that's something the Stoics knew well. Progress is made one day at a time. Habit 3. Negative visualization. Imagine losing everything you hold dear. Your job, your health, the people you love. How does that make you feel? Terrifying, isn't it? But what if I told you that thinking about this, embracing this fear, can actually lead to a happier, more resilient life? Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy that teaches us how to live in harmony with nature, while cultivating wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. At its core, it's about learning to deal with life's challenges with grace. So, what exactly is negative visualization? It's the Stoic practice of imagining worst-case scenarios. But wait, it's not about being pessimistic or cynical. Instead, it's about preparing your mind for life's inevitable challenges. The Stoics believed that by confronting these fears, you become more appreciative of the present moment and less disturbed when difficulties arise. In our modern world, we're constantly distracted by the pursuit of more money, more success, more happiness. But what happens when we lose something we hold dear? Most of us panic, feel overwhelmed, or fall into despair. By regularly imagining life without these things, without your possessions, health, or even loved ones, you're able to gain a deeper appreciation for what you have right now. You also build mental resilience, so that if tragedy does strike, you're emotionally equipped to handle it. Here's how you can practice negative visualization in your own life. Find a quiet space. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Visualize loss. Imagine losing something you value, a possession, a relationship, or even your health. Try to fully experience the emotions that come with this loss. It may feel uncomfortable, but that's the point. Appreciate what you have. After visualizing the loss, take a moment to reflect on how fortunate you are to have those things now. Feel the gratitude wash over you. The goal isn't to dwell on negativity, it's to remind yourself that life is fragile and unpredictable, and that every moment is a gift. By practicing negative visualization, you'll start to notice some profound benefits. Increased gratitude. You'll appreciate your life more because you realize how easily things could be different. Emotional resilience. When difficulties arise, you'll be less thrown off because you've mentally prepared for these scenarios. Perspective shift. You'll stop sweating the small stuff. Suddenly, losing your keys or getting stuck in traffic won't seem like the end of the world. The Stoics had much to say on the power of negative visualization. Seneca once said, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." Negative visualization may seem counterintuitive at first, but when practiced regularly, it can transform the way you see your life. It's not about expecting the worst, but about preparing for it so that you can live fully in the present with gratitude and resilience. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more Stoic wisdom every week. Try negative visualization in your own life and let me know in the comments how it impacts your perspective. Habit 4. Detachment from outcomes. One of the core ideas in Stoicism is learning to let go of things we can't control. This is where detachment from outcomes comes in. Let's dive into why this concept is essential and how you can practice it in your daily life. Picture this. You put in a lot of effort toward a goal. Maybe it's a project at work, an athletic competition, or an exam. Naturally, you hope for success. But according to Stoic philosophy, the outcome itself is not something you should attach yourself to. Why? Because, as the Stoics remind us, the results are often beyond our control. You can't predict every factor, nor can you guarantee that things will unfold exactly as you want them to. There are always external forces at play, things like luck, the actions of others, or unforeseen events. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said, "Some things are in our control and others are not." This is a central teaching of Stoicism. The only things we truly control are our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Outcomes, not so much. When we attach our happiness or sense of self-worth to specific outcomes, we give power to things outside our control. And when those things don't turn out as expected, we experience frustration, disappointment, or even despair. But what if instead we focused solely on what we can control? In Stoicism, detachment from outcomes doesn't mean you stop caring about what you do. In fact, it means you care deeply about your actions and effort. You give your best, but you don't allow the results to define your inner peace. Whether you succeed or fail, the real success lies in the process. Let's say you're up for a promotion at work. You've done everything right, put in the hours, shown dedication, and demonstrated your abilities. Despite your best efforts, someone else gets the promotion. At this moment, Stoicism asks you to reflect. Did I do everything within my power? If the answer is yes, the outcome shouldn't disturb your peace of mind. You did your part. Now it's time to move forward. Epictetus also said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens the way it happens. Then you will be happy." This quote reminds us that inner peace comes from accepting the outcome, whatever it may be, with grace and resilience. Practicing detachment from outcomes is not about indifference. It's about maintaining your inner calm, no matter the situation. When you let go of your emotional investment in results, you're better able to face challenges, adapt to change, and cultivate resilience. Stoicism teaches us that life is unpredictable, but that doesn't mean we have to suffer when things don't go our way. By focusing on our efforts, actions, and virtues, things we can control, we unlock a deeper sense of contentment and freedom. Remember, life's about the journey, not just the destination, so embrace the process and let go of the rest. Habit 5. Practicing gratitude daily. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, we sometimes lose sight of the simple grounding moments. But what if the key to happiness isn't found in external success or material possessions, but in something much simpler? What if the key is gratitude? Specifically, how practicing gratitude daily can shift your mindset and improve your life. In the next few minutes, we'll unpack the philosophy behind it, practical steps to implement it, and how Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus viewed gratitude. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, teaches us to focus on what we can control and to accept what we cannot. One of the core practices of Stoicism is gratitude, being thankful for what we have, even in the face of adversity. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, wrote in his Meditations, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." This isn't just a poetic statement. Aurelius practiced daily gratitude as a means to remain centered amid the pressures of ruling an empire. Imagine that, in the midst of war, political intrigue and personal loss, Marcus found time each day to reflect on what he was thankful for. When you wake up, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for. It could be something simple, like the warmth of the sun on your face, or having a roof over your head. This act of mindfulness sets a positive tone for the rest of the day. As Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." A practical way to do this is to keep a gratitude journal by your bedside. Every morning, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be major life events. Small moments of joy are equally valuable. Another key aspect of Stoic gratitude is being present. Throughout your day, notice the little things, the sound of birds, the taste of your food, the conversation with a friend. These are all moments to be grateful for. The Stoics believed that we often take the ordinary for granted. Gratitude helps bring us back to the present and appreciate what we have. Try this. Next time you feel stressed or overwhelmed, pause. Take a deep breath and focus on something around you that brings you peace. Gratitude is about focusing on abundance, not lack. The Stoics also remind us that it's essential to find gratitude even in difficult situations. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or hardship, but rather acknowledging that even challenges are opportunities for growth. As Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." When life throws obstacles your way, try to reframe the situation. What can you learn? How can this challenge make you stronger? Gratitude during adversity is perhaps the most profound form of Stoic wisdom. Lastly, end your day by reflecting on what went well. Marcus Aurelius would often journal at night, reviewing his thoughts and actions. Reflect on what you experienced and find at least one thing you're grateful for. This not only helps you sleep better, but also rewires your brain to focus on positivity. Gratitude is a powerful tool. It doesn't just change your mood, it changes your perspective. The Stoics knew this well. Practicing daily gratitude connects us to the present, helps us manage stress, and reminds us that even in difficult times, there is something to be thankful for. If you found value in today's video, consider incorporating some of these practices into your routine. Let me know in the comments what you're grateful for today. And if you'd like more Stoic wisdom, Habit 6, Embracing Discomfort. Life isn't always comfortable. Challenges, pain, setbacks, they're all part of our human experience. But what if I told you that discomfort is not the enemy, but rather an opportunity for growth? Today, we're going to explore how Stoicism teaches us to embrace discomfort, and why doing so can lead to a more resilient, meaningful life. We live in a world that often seeks comfort at every turn, whether through technology, entertainment, or even food. Discomfort is something we've been conditioned to avoid, but the Stoics, like Seneca and Epictetus, saw things differently. They understood that avoiding discomfort only weakens us. Stoicism teaches that discomfort is inevitable, but how we perceive it determines its impact. Instead of running away from it, we should confront discomfort head-on, using it as a tool for personal development. Discomfort can come in many forms: physical pain, emotional struggles, uncertainty about the future. The Stoics believed that these moments, while challenging, are opportunities to build strength and resilience. As Seneca reminds us, much of our suffering comes from the mind. We create mental barriers, anticipating discomfort before it even arrives. But when we face it directly, we often find it's not as bad as we feared. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort to prepare themselves for life's inevitable challenges. Marcus Aurelius, for example, would often remind himself to meet every discomfort with courage and calm. By occasionally fasting, enduring cold, or doing hard physical work, they toughened their minds and bodies. These practices weren't about masochism. They were about learning to control how discomfort affects us. Even today we can adopt these practices in small ways. Skipping a luxury we don't need, or challenging ourselves to stay disciplined in uncomfortable situations, helps build mental fortitude. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is that while we can't control external events, we can control how we respond to them. This is where the power of choice comes in. Discomfort, pain, adversity, they are all external events. But our response, our perspective, is entirely in our control. When we realize this, discomfort loses its power over us. Embracing discomfort isn't about suffering for the sake of suffering. It's about growth, strength, and self-mastery. By confronting challenges, we sharpen our minds, strengthen our character, and ultimately find peace in the storm. True tranquility doesn't come from avoiding discomfort, but from facing it with courage and resilience. When we embrace discomfort, we unlock a powerful inner peace, one that can withstand any storm. So the next time you encounter discomfort, don't shy away from it. Remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Discomfort is an opportunity for growth. Embrace it, learn from it, and you'll emerge stronger. Habit 7. Evening reflection. A Stoic tradition to bring awareness to how we live each day, inspired by the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. The Stoics believed that self-examination is the key to wisdom. At the end of each day they would ask themselves, how did I live today? Did I live according to my values, or did I let external circumstances dictate my emotions? The great Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote to himself, reflecting on his actions, thoughts, and even failures. He used these moments to recalibrate, to remind himself of what truly matters: virtue, reason, and the pursuit of a just life. In Stoicism, we believe in taking responsibility for our actions. This reflection isn't about self-criticism or guilt. It's about growth. It's about understanding where we can improve, where we allowed emotions or impulses to govern us, and how we can do better. Seneca once said, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." In your reflection, remind yourself that life is lived moment by moment, and this day was a gift. If you stumbled, it's okay. Tomorrow is a new opportunity to live in accordance with your virtues. By reflecting each evening, you are training your mind to align more closely with the Stoic virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. So, as you close your day, take comfort in this ancient practice, knowing that each reflection brings you closer to living a life of purpose and meaning. Thank you for joining me tonight. May your reflections guide you towards a more peaceful and fulfilled life. Remember, the only thing we truly control is ourselves, and with practice, we can become better day by day. Until next time, stay mindful, stay reflective.